Hola, clase. Today we're talking about irregular conjugations in the preterito, or the preterite tense in Spanish. Today we're going to focus on preterite boot verbs, all right, which we're actually not going to call boot verbs, but you'll see that in just a second. All right, so this is going to apply, anything we talk about today is going to apply to IR boot verbs only. Never to AR or ER boot verbs. All right. Just like the I to Y spelling change verbs, this change is only going to happen in the third person. All right. The singular forms of él, ella, usted, and the plural forms of ellos, ellas, ustedes. Okay. And because they're only happening, let me draw this out. So we're used to a boot, right? Where we have yo, to, él, ella, usted, and ellos, ellas, ustedes down here, with nosotros being outside of the boot. All right, this is not going to apply this time. Forget about it. All right, if we put all those forms back, and just for space sake, you'll notice that I'm not writing out él, ella, usted, ellos, ellas, ustedes. I'm just doing él and ellos. All right. So because we're just in the third person down here at the bottom, all right, just down here, you'll notice we actually make more of a sandal going on. All right. And for this reason, because we're only in the bottom, we're making a sandal, we're actually going to call these chancla verbs. Chancla means sandal. All right, you might hear that. All right, so instead of drawing a boot around our forms, we're going to draw sandals. All right. And here's what your changes are. They're a little bit different than what we're used to. All right. We're going to see that an O is going to change to a U. And an E is going to change to an I. All right. So the most common chancla verb that is going to have an O in it that changes is going to be dormir. All right. So you'll see we have an ending of IR. We have our O here that we're going to change. All right, but only in third person. So let's practice and conjugate this guy out. So if you want to say I slept, you'd say yo dormí. You slept would be tú dormiste. All right, both of them perfectly regular. Now we have él, ella, usted. All right, now we're in third person, so we change that O to a U to durmió. Durmió. All right, one more time. Durmió. All right, it's not duer. All right, we're used to this, that O to UE and saying duer. We don't want to do that. No duer. All right, nosotros dormimos, for we slept. And then ellos, ellas, ustedes Back down to third person. So that O changes to a U. Durmieron. All right. Go like that. All right. An example of an E to I boot verb. A very common one that we're going to use. The verb servir, to sleep, to serve. You have that IR ending. So we know that it can be a chancla verb. And we have the E that's going to change to an I. So if you want to say, I served, yo serví, tú serviste, él, ella, usted sirvió, nosotros servimos, and ellos, ellas, ustedes sirvieron. All right, that's it. That's the only change there. Are those boot verbs there? All the endings stay the same. They're no different. There's no other weird spelling changes going on like some of the other irregulars we talked about. All right, I'm going to give you a couple other verbs that we might come in contact with. Well, I know we're going to come in contact with some of them. All right, pedir, which is to ask for or to order. Like if you go to a restaurant, you're going to use pedir. Preferir, to prefer. And on preferir, to find out which E you're going to change, you actually go to your last ending here. All right, and then you go one vowel back, and that's how we find it. So we are going to change this second E when we do that. Okay. Another verb from our vocab list. Oh, don't know what happened right there. Competir, which is to compete. Seguir, to follow. We had that on our vocab list. Seguir una dieta balanceada. All right. A little side note about seguir. Two things here. All right. I'm trying to figure out which letter is going to change. All right. And I told you that we go to our last ending here and go one vowel back. Well, remember when we talked about the kargar and zar verbs and the G changed to a GU, and we said that those two letters work together? The same thing happens here in seguir. All right, the G and the U are working together so that they're making one sound. So it's almost as if the U there is silent, doesn't exist. So we actually go back, and that's how we get to the E that changes. All right, in competir, one back would be the E. All right. The other thing I want to point out about seguir, you'll notice that it ends with UIR, which would make you think that it would be one of those I to Y spelling change verbs that were like influir, construir, or destruir. But again, remember, the G and the U work together. So it's like the U is actually silent. So we're not going to treat it as an I to Y spelling change verb. All right. Another Chancla verb that we are going to see here, vestirse, which is to get dressed. All right. Keeping in mind that it is reflexive, it has that se on the end of your infinitive, so we're going to need to do something with that se. So all of these guys follow this pattern up here, like servir. All right. And once you get used to knowing what verbs are Chancla verbs, all right, these preterite IR boot verbs, you will get to be more familiar with them with more practice. It'll come easier to you to make those changes. Most of the times you'll end up saying the change on its own as you're pronouncing it. So don't give up. If you have any questions on any of this, feel free to send me a message. Come see me. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Until next time, adios.